Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 63 of the Three Virtues Podcast. I'm Mhan.
I'm Veteran.
I'm LJ. With silence.
Venom is kind of here. He's wavering in and out, but he'll be back, I think. So, this is a bit of an interesting episode because we're recording this on Sunday night, the day before the Castle map pack is released, because we were supposed to record it on Friday, but it was not.
Who cares about the Castle map pack?
It was not an opportune time. But we're recording it now just because there actually is some stuff that we'd like to discuss. Should be an interesting episode. So, without further ado, how's life and such? Var, Aldrin?
Interesting. Very interesting and kind of indebting. Because I'm in debt to Var.
Yes.
Because I might have taken and destroyed something of his somewhere in some way.
Terraria.
Like his will. Oh, yeah, that too.
Ever since the last episode, we've not really played Terraria all that much, but we're actually playing it right now. There was a bit of an incident that was...
Took my money thinking it was Kahi and destroyed it. And so...
Yeah, well, in my defense, Kahi deserved it, but you
I
did
didn't.
But you did not, which is why I am painstakingly attempting to get it back for you.
Because you're so kind, right?
No, because Var will be angry with me till the end of time if I don't.
Truth.
It's like I was shot for being in the around the area of a robbing. Like some dude shot a random shot and it just happened to traverse all the way to me and shoot me.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything wrong. I was just there.
Again, I'm sorry, Var.
You're a jerk. And I hate
Well, LJ.
you. I wish you were dead.
Oh,
Yes.
I forgot. Earlier, Var had taken some items from my chest in this game, a storage chest, by accident. And I remembered, Var, there were some mushrooms, which I also had. Like 40,
That
not
sucks.
40, like 20.
Doesn't
Give
it?
them back.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mushrooms.
What are mushrooms?
Well,
Totally
well,
didn't
well,
eat
you
those.
see, they're a type of fungi. And
They're totally. I
Wait,
totally didn't.
Fungi?
I totally didn't eat those mushrooms or anything.
fungi is apparently the correct pronunciation. Anyway, this is off topic. What I was going to say was, LJ, I bet you are just really excited to wake up early tomorrow and get to downloading the Castle map pack.
Totally forgot we were recording TTV.
Yup.
Well, here's the thing, Meso. I might not be able to.
Yeah, Var does not actually know about this, so tell him.
I like I
Really?
said, I'm not sure. All I know is that I may not be able to.
Yeah.
So, if I am,
Why wouldn't you be able to?
the internet provider we're currently with, it's limited internet to a point. It's unlimited to a point, but as soon as we reach a threshold, then it becomes super, super slow. So we're trying not to reach the threshold.
I see.
Yeah, so I gotta be careful in the internet usage.
Well, here's a simple fix. On the day that you are like gone to take that class you're gonna be going to soon, just don't access the internet all day that day. And you told me a while ago you use up a lot of internet playing games and whatnot in one day. So on that day, just don't, and you'll make up for the half of a gigabyte for Castle. Win-win. But anyway,
We shall see.
yeah, we'll probably be giving impressions on the Castle map pack when it comes out on the next TTV episode. So, okay, may as well get started talking about the news, which will be very short, but it's pretty interesting because some stuff's happened since the last recording. So, all right, news. In the news this week, we have but one thing, and that is the discussion of the April Fool's Day shenanigans that happened on BZPower, like last week.
And MNOG, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, and the Motonui Online game has been uploaded to Templar Studios' site. The reason I forgot about this, let's talk about this first. This, I don't understand. Haven't we been able to play it perfectly fine?
We have.
Yeah. They just decided to upload it.
Yeah, we have. It's just via an unofficial source.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just kind of nice to have an official
Yeah.
thing to do with such. Oh god.
Templar Studios has been doing quite a lot of cool Bionicle related things as of late. This is but
Yeah, I'm not really sure why, but it's cool nonetheless.
storyboards and all this stuff. You know, I've said it time and time again, but I've never played the Motonui Online game in full. Maybe this will be my opportunity.
Really. Interesting.
Well,
you are missing out quite a lot, good sir.
I've played more of Motonui Online Game 2 than I have Motonui Online Game 1.
I did not like Motonui Online Game 2. I don't know. I liked Motonui Online Game 1 much more.
But VAR, how could you not?
I don't know. It was harder to. It was just harder to do. I never could figure out how to get to places and things like that. And there's always these anything rambling, but yeah, it was an interesting game. I liked Motonui Online Game, Let 1 more.
Yeah, I never beat either of them.
Of course you did.
Probably should. It's the kind of thing which, in the past, I've been called not a true Bionicle fan many times
You're
for
not.
a variety of reasons that were all completely nonsensical. But if there ever was an actual reason, it would be for not playing this game.
Well, yeah, you aren't.
I
Bionicle fan I've ever met.
I disagree with that.
Well,
What constitutes a fan?
playing everything and owning everything. Jeez, you're not a fan, you jerk.
So I believe that Vin has rejoined us, I think. Have you?
You are correct.
Okay, cool. So yeah, he is here after all. What happened?
What do you mean what happened?
You left without word.
I went to go get some cake. I come back and we're recording TTV. What is this?
It's gotta happen. So you're actually just in time to talk about the big main news item. And that is April Fool's roundup discussion. And all the crazy things that happened on April Fool's.
What crazy things happened on April Fool's?
That's right, you were gone.
I wasn't actually there.
Oh, then this should be great. We have first impression perspective. Okay. You know what? LJ.
Hi.
This is about Greg. You I'll talk about one part, and you talk about the Greg part.
Okay.
The first part that happened was BZPower posted a news article. This was the and they
You're not gonna like this.
BZPower buys Lego. And this was the article. And, you know, it was obviously a prank, but the wording they used was pretty hilarious. And they said, you know, people were like, oh, they were playing along, joking around. And Black Six posted at one point, now that we've acquired the company, we have a list of changes which we will be implementing as soon as we're able. And he like rattled off a bunch, like, more purple pieces and sets, the return of Galador, we're canceling the Lego Star Wars license. Like the Lego Star Wars license is no more. You know, that was pretty funny. Obviously a prank, but it was getting a bunch of laughs out of people. But then obviously, the big thing was bring back Bionicle. Everyone was asking. And then just a bit later in the day, something happens, and then Makaru posts a link, and he says, "We did." And LJ, this is where you come in. Tell us what happened next.
This is the part where it gets
the revelation to the end there. Oh god.
This is where it gets depressing. Later on in the day, a topic was posted. And the topic was called... What was the topic called?
A short announcement.
Short announcement.
Okay, great. I'm trying to get it back up.
I can talk about it. I can probably do it better
The
than you.
topic was called. I got it. The topic was called a short announcement and was started by none other than Greg Farshty, and he had this to say: "Hello, everyone. I have an announcement to make. Although it is sort of unfortunate that it is April Fool's, I have received authorization from LEGO to talk about this today. So I didn't want to wait. Hopefully this isn't their April Fool's joke on me. Over the last few weeks, I've been in talks with LEGO about the fate of BIONICLE. More specifically, we've been discussing the possibility of making a return in some shape or form. The interest in the line has kept going strong, which is one of the reasons this came up. Although I went to the discussion not knowing where it would lead, I'm happy to say that it's good news. Although the revival wouldn't mean having a full line of sets again, there would at least be a few small sets and at very least a continuation of the story again. Not going to talk about where that's going, but I'm sure you have a few guesses. I'm really grateful for you guys sticking around, helping show Bionicle as this and that and the other thing, etc., etc. Best wishes." So that got everyone riled up because they were absolutely dumbfounded. Everyone was so confused. Is this a joke? Is this true?
The reason why is because Greg Farshty hasn't been allowed to talk for some time now because of those policies.
Yeah, so it was crazy that Greg Farshty suddenly showed up and started talking about the bringing back Bionicle.
So it was like,
Yeah,
is this
everyone
really
was-
him that's in on a prank? Could this be real? Is it the staff? And then,
I'll tell you one thing: not many people thought it was real. A lot of people
Yeah.
thought it was a prank,
y'all.
and that Greg Farshty was in on it. Everything like that.
So everyone was confused, kind of excited. Arguments started breaking out. Invictus started trolling everyone by saying the Bring Back Bionicle guys were the reason that this even happened in the first place, etc., etc. Then the unfortunate thing happened. Black 6 checked the IP of the person who was using Greg Farshty's account, and it unfortunately was not Greg's account.
Well, it was Greg's account. It just wasn't.
Oh, sorry.
Greg.
Yeah, sorry. It was not Greg's IP. Unfortunately, Greg's account was compromised, and the account was shortly thereafter banned. There has been some people who have taken responsibility for this.
Our favorite
no one
neighborhood
really-
hacker.
No one really knows who, in fact, did it.
It was a running
Oh, man.
theory for a while, and I still kind of believe this, that the staff got Greg's permission to access his account and like do this and play along and make it like a prank with his permission because he could not actually use his account to get in on it. I do not believe the staff would use his account without his permission, but that is equally possible. The reason I say that is because when everyone started saying, could this really be Greg Farshty? What if it's not? A lot of people had that same idea, and then a couple of the staff members responded almost in a joking manner, like, oh yes, of course that's what's happening, but we're going to pretend like it isn't. Most notably Makaru. Now he could not have known what was going on.
Yeah,
was
I don't
just
think Makaru knew. He probably just assumed that was the case.
made a couple posts where someone was like, what if they take his account and then they never give it back? And Makaru was like, we'll certainly give it back if that's the case, which it's totally not. It was like a bunch of spaces between the lines, and yeah, that could have been just him joking around, but I'm not sure.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that was him assuming that they did take control of the account, but not knowing for sure.
Yup. But kind of like playing the role of mange, just kind of.
Yeah, he was kind of just there. He wasn't really sure himself.
That's where we are.
Yeah.
So Greg is still banned, and April Fool's is over. They announced that the buyout of Lego did not go as planned, and well, that's that. It's one of the pranks. Eurobricks changed their site to Ameribricks.
They made a joke about the Constitution or something that I thought was funny.
The funny part being they still have not changed back.
Really now?
Yeah.
That is fun.
Permanent.
I think that they should keep it, and yeah, they should
Let me
probably
see this.
keep it as a mayor of bricks. Be patriotic for their country. How many of them are actually from other countries that are not the United States?
A good bit. Probably about
Oh.
equal, fifth split.
Oh, wow.
It looks
Okay.
like there's still Eurobricks to me.
What?
They might have changed it back just as we
That would
said
be
this.
awful.
It might just be different skins.
What? They changed back. It was just here earlier.
Well,
And it-
breaking news, folks.
Wait a-
They changed back.
Way to make a fool out of myself on it.
Breaking news, folks. Mesa sounds just as bored as when he's screaming as when he talks.
Way to make a fool out of myself on air. Okay.
What?
What?
Okay, you can edit it out.
Yeah.
You sounded like Kahi for a second. What?
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 Oh!
They both
What?
weird whispering thing.
What? What? What?
Yes. What indeed. But yeah,
What in the... I'm done.
YouTube did this joke where they said we're gonna count all the videos on YouTube and we're gonna pick the best video. And they had
Obviously, we won.
yes, obviously. But no, here's the thing. They said the winner will be announced like 10 years from now in 2023. And every day until then, we are going to live stream our announcements of the nominees, which of course is
As you
every
can
video on YouTube.
It was weird.
They had a 12
And
hour live
the
stream.
best part of it, I think, was that so many YouTubers actually played along and were a part of it.
Yep. They had a 12-hour live stream of these people standing up and reading the nominations. And then at the very end of it, they like went to bed in like a sleeping bag right there in the floor. And they said tune in tomorrow, but of course it never happened. But it was pretty funny. I'm trying to think of any other April Fool's jokes, but none are coming to mind.
Out of the call.
Oh. Sounds like April Fool's was actually fun to be on the internet.
Yep. And you missed it because you're a chump.
I missed it because I had a life to deal with.
I'm sure. I know. That's. Well, that's the deal, Vin. You should try and be there for April Fool's next year. Stuff happened.
I should not.
You missed our mini Nui reveal, which I guess we should mention. Even though we made like 2 videos about it, we released the quote-unquote island of Maranui ahead of.
And we released it. It's just really small.
Yes, we've nicknamed it Mini Nui, and the rage was immense from some, but a lot of people, found it funny. But a bit of background, we actually made a video about this, so I'm only going to mention it in passing, but it is actually not something we just created to troll people. It is actually a thing we used in the production of the movie, and it's a neat behind-the-scenes bit. Okay, well, that's about all for the April Fool's Roundup. A bunch of funny stuff happened, and yeah, I always find April Fool's enjoyable in like all the different communities, just because.
Not when.
Yeah.
Not when the Bionicle author gets banned from BZP. No, that's pretty depressing.
Yeah, that kind of
Not like it matters. He'll never be
matters to me.
back. He'll never be back.
Kinda.
I bet he doesn't even know his account's been banned.
Well, that's on
Even
the
still.
staff, but honestly, that really bugs me.
That is.
That was BZP's thing. That's what gave them their fame. Was that Greg Farsty was on, and now he's banned.
He'll be back.
You just said I doubt he'll ever be back. Second guess
the account will be unbanned in no time. I just doubt he will ever be back and have a presence, which is why it's kind of meaningless.
Suppose.
It's like Ninja getting demoted. Remember Ninja? He got demoted. He was like the famous past admin that everyone loves that left BZP, and he got demoted because he was never active, and everyone was sad. Like, how could you demote Ninja? And this is ridiculous. What did he do to deserve this? But at the end of the day, it didn't really matter. Those that disagreed with it, but he himself does not affect at all. Now, of course, I'm not saying the hacking and the banning was a good thing. I'm just saying, all will be all will be made right in due time. And such.
You say so.
You think they're gonna leave him banned forever?
Well, while Crackjack's still running around, probably.
Yeah. Well, okay. Now we'll transition into the next segment. This is gonna be a bit of a different one, so I'll let LJ take the reins for this.
Hello everyone and welcome to the brief return of the Comic Maker Spotlight. I have not missed this. So today we're going to be talking about comics. Big surprise, but it's going to be a little bit different. Next week, if I do the Comic Maker Spotlight, we'll be talking about bad BZPower comics that everyone hates. By everyone I mean me. This time, however, we are talking about comics. Wait, what?
Okay.
This time, however, we'll be talking about comics most people really like. And that, those would be the official Bionicle comics, which we all enjoy. We're going to talk primarily about the certain styles each year had, each artist brought to the table. And then we're going to discuss it and enjoy the discussion and think back about how bad of a spotlight this would have been if it had just been normal BZPower comics.
Those are always funny, though.
Those always suck.
This is a very Bionicle-centric episode. The Bionicle author gets banned, MNOG, Bionicle comic discussion.
I don't want to remember the author's demise. Thank you. I'm still getting over that.
Too soon, Meso, too soon.
I'm sorry.
How could you? You monster.
I still have all those PMs he sent me. That's my crying, by the way.
And now every time you go look at them, say banned on them.
Stop it! I don't even remember this.
This whole author discussion started with a post-episode talk, and I was like, why are you guys never recording these conversations? So, take it away.
Okay, so
I refuse to. I work too hard for this.
So this discussion pretty much just started with me and Var talking about the comic artists and how we liked certain styles and how we didn't like other certain styles. So we're going to talk about that. Starting off with the very beginning, Carlos de Anda, someone I've wanted to interview for a while, but
Should post an example of their work every time you mention someone, by the way.
yeah. So yeah, Carlos de Anda, he was the original comic artist and actually recently made his grandiose return making Hero Factory comics.
Yes, those long-running and consistently updated Hero Factory comics
That no one likes.
that don't get made. I like them. I actually thought his art style fits better for that because they're robots, actual robots.
Bionicles. Bionicles are robots too, yo.
In a sense.
But back to the whole Bionicle thing. Carlos de Anda, he has to have my favorite style out of all the Bionicle comics. Because
Sorry.
it's just, they're very gritty and
Really.
kind of battle torn.
They're very fat.
Well, I'm waiting for an example to be posted before I can put my opinions on.
Oh yeah. Every time I talk about them, I thought you were talking about editing the episode.
No, I meant
well,
post an example for us to discuss.
I'll do that as
Okay.
well.
Let me get a very classic.
Yeah, post what you want me to post to the video.
So, I guess a classic should start off with the
Just post a cover or something.
an ending of the final comic.
Yeah.
The two Mata kind of standing there with the large clouds behind them. This is a nice representation of his art style.
I always liked his style. Here.
Yeah, I really love the style because it just looks very... The Toa, they've been to a fight. They look very worn down. They look
Shiny.
They look like they're a part of the terrain. And I really enjoy
Cool.
that.
Am I the only
I
one?
like how he.
Am I the only one that doesn't like it?
I quite like them.
Like I love the Mata's style. I just don't like the Nuva's post 01 style.
Well, he didn't really do Nuva very long, did he?
Not
No,
very
he-
long at all, but still.
The Nuva, he did the Nuva for like a comic or two, maybe.
Yeah. That's what I
It was not very long after that, and I guess it didn't fit the Nuva as well because they were kind of more chunkier than the Mata were when he drew them.
Yup.
Their chunkiness was apparent.
Yep.
His art
Yep.
style's like a mixed bag. Kind of like his Hero Factory art style. It's exactly the same scenario. Some stuff I enjoy, and some stuff I do not. That's a nice way of putting it.
I do not like his Hero Factory art style because it is just a lot worse than the Nuva ever were.
Go look at some of his Hero Factory covers. Go look at the second comic. Well, of course you're not gonna go search it up. I'd have to link it,
Right.
but the second comics cover, because he only did the covers. He didn't do the comics. That's a common misconception. The
Oh, they're still bad.
Hero Factory comic does not. No, it's not.
It's I don't
It's,
think it's bad
it's exactly the same art style. It's not. You can say it doesn't fit as well, but you can't say it's bad if you like his art.
Oh, wait.
Oh no, it's definitely not bad.
He only does the covers. That's a common.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I was entirely this time thinking of comics. No, yeah, he only does the covers. The covers are good.
Comics are atrocious, but that's another matter.
Yeah, the
Carlos
comics are
Ghosn
absolutely-
does. I see what you mean about the terrain. Like they're part of the terrain. They have the same aesthetic to them. They look battle scarred, and that is something which is a little tricky to convey. So yeah, I'll give him points for that.
Yeah. I like all the detail that he puts into it while also stylizing it a bit. Like, it's not exactly set-like. He gives it some life, adds some flesh to it. Well, not flesh per se, but adds some meat to it.
Meat, flesh,
He puts
everything.
blood, sweat, and tears into it.
That's not what I meant. I meant like he gives the characters
Flesh.
thick, like
They look a lot more animated.
Gives
they look like they actually have working bodies.
Look like-
That
look
there's
like-
actually that's actually a leg. It's not some tiny thin frame of a leg. It's an actual leg. It's an actual torso and the head and functional arm. That's what I mean.
looks like they've got flesh. Working flesh.
Why are you still on that? It's not okay. Whatever. You're making a big deal out of that.
He
Anyway.
does that, like, fly.
Well, anyway, and yeah, I like that he can add a lot of detail to it while also making it his own and give it some life like that, and I think that really helps the style a lot. And as LJ said, mixing with the background, he does really, really well. And I think it's, like I said, I think it's back on the detail aspect. He gives a lot of detail to the characters, but he also gives a lot of detail to the backgrounds. He shows as much love with the scenery as he does the characters themselves, so it's also characters to a degree.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to mix the two together, and it goes back to just like how Matanui itself, the island, is sort of a character as far as 01 goes. Like 2001 isn't described by just its story and just his characters; it's its location too, and that really hits home with Bionicle right there. That's all it ever really meant to me. It's just its
Wow.
story and how everything went together.
You never liked the sets.
I love the sets. What are you
That's
talking
that's
about?
all it ever meant to me. The story.
Well, yeah, it does. Exactly. The sets didn't mean Bionicle to me. The sets ushered in my interest, but that's not what I think of when I think of 01. I think of the whole thing as a whole.
Yeah.
how the sets fit into the story, not just the sets themselves.
I agree.
And I think the comics really capture 01's feel
Definitely.
really well.
Yep.
And I mentioned before we started recording, but thinking of Deonda in any other year, I don't think he would have worked as well as he does in 01. I think his art style really fits 01, and I could say the same for a lot of the artists. So yeah.
I think the only other place it really would have worked out in for Deonda would have been, in my opinion, the later years of 07, the later months of 07 regarding the Mari.
I can see that.
Possibly. I could also see him kind of fitting in with 09 a little bit.
Yeah.
Or not
Definitely.
09. Well, yeah, 09. 09 and 08 I think would have fit.
09 was what I was
I
originally
think I would
gonna
have
say.
liked to have seen this style used in 08.
Yeah. I think that would have been a cool callback, too, since the Toa Nuva were
Yeah.
return
yeah.
beyond a draw. It would have been interesting.
Think of how he would have drawn Golly Mystica's mask.
Oh, God. Well,
He probably
I don't
would have made
know.
it look
I don't know.
good.
He drew her Mata mask. I just forgot the name of it.
Cow.
The Cow. Yeah, he drew the Cow pretty feminine and decent looking here, as opposed to the actual set, which I have right in front of me. So
Yeah, I think he was the best artist for 2001 in my opinion.
For sure.
I cannot imagine any of the other artists we saw doing 01 as well as he did. No, not to say the others could not have done it. It's just 01, I think he really hit mark with that.
yeah.
Now, I guess moving on to the next artist, this guy, we actually interviewed him, and he actually helped Anda with inking before taking over with penciling, and that would be Randy Elliott.
Yeah.
And Randy Elliott, he did everything after, I think, the first Nuva comic up to the end of 2005.
I love his art style. I just really do.
I love Randy Elliott's too.
Yeah. I think in comparison to how Anda did the Nuva and Elliott did the Nuva, Elliott, he very strictly followed the sets, and he gave it a lot of detail, and he put the sets very nicely into the scenery. I think he got accustomed to the scenery of, like, the Anda.
Yeah, inking it probably helped a lot.
Yeah, and then he kind of took a more set accurate route, but gave it more, the same amount of detail.
Yeah.
Probably not as extensive as the Anda, but it was there.
Definitely not the battle-hardened look that Deonda captured it. His is more streamlined and clean looking, but following the sets to a really well degree. And I noticed here the toe look a lot more shinier too. I know that's not really Elliott's doing, because in case no one in case no one knows, which everyone should when reading comics, is that the artist doesn't do the coloring and the inking and everything. There's all different jobs, and we're primarily talking about only the penciler who draws the pencils.
Yeah.
The inking and the coloring are all different people.
It all adds up, but
Yeah, of course.
we're talking specifically about
The drawings themselves.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind while also looking at these. But yes, back to what I was saying. A lot streamlined, more cleaner, definitely set-like, and thinner too, is something I noticed. Deonda had a really thick style, which I mentioned earlier, and these are a lot more robotic looking to me.
Yeah. I think he did a really nice job capturing the set robot side of things.
Yeah.
But he didn't just do the Nuva. I think he's most predominantly known for dealing with the Metru. To a Metru.
Yeah, the Metru's where his real style comes out.
You know,
One thing to note about Elliott's style under Deonda's, I guess, actually, is that since Deonda went a little more creative with his his style and gave them more flesh, gave them whatever. he thickened them a lot. and
Flesh.
gave them more of a life, sort of, in the thickness of their limbs and torso, is that with that, not following sets, he was able to pose them a lot easier, more natural, more anatomically correct to a human perspective, I guess. Whereas while Elliott follows set likes, and he's able to capture that, he's also able to capture the stiffness of the sets really well. Not a good thing per se, but he captures it. And because of that, a lot of the times they kind of look a little awkward in positions and things. And it's not his fault. It's the fact that it's just the sets look awkward doing that position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where Deonda's style kind of helps him a lot more.
For sure.
Yeah. Honestly, I have a little bit of a soft spot for the artwork that Elliott did, because my first Bionicle comic was the last 03 comic Elliott did, and then the first comic I got from Lego was the Metru comic Elliott did at some unspecified time.
That's
So-
cool.
Yeah, Elliott did great portraying the Metru. I remember reading those on Lego.com. When they had those digital comics up.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed the artwork. I enjoyed how he had a different take on the Metru's appearance while still making them look fairly accurate to the sets.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But another thing is how the artwork actually fits into the line. And just like Deonda, I cannot really see Elliott doing any other line but the Metru. And the reason this is because the Metru were so streamlined, just straight lines and clean and shiny. They really, really fit the whole aspect of a city.
Definitely.
And because of that, Elliott really fits the storyline a lot more to me. And I can't really see him working in any other line, but also at the same time, he fits this line so great.
Yeah, I think he captured the Metru and then later on the Hordika very well. The Hordika, they're just supposed to be modified Metru. So I think he did that well too.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I like the personality he gave to the destroyed
I actually
city.
really, really like the Hordika a lot more than he did the Metru. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can't say I like one more over the other. I just think he did both exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
And
But
now,
just looking at his Hordika artwork just kind of reminded me of how dislikable the Hordika were.
yeah, I never forget.
One thing, one thing to compare between Deonda and Elliott is the shading. Deonda's shading is a lot darker and a lot grungier, as I think LJ put it earlier. A lot scratchier. He's using a lot of lines.
It's a lot more gritty.
Yeah.
Battle torn,
Worn
down.
And when looking at Elliott's style, the shading is a lot cleaner, and it looks metallic, a really metallic sort of shading. Whereas I can't really say that Deonda's toe look metal. And I know this is also going back to the coloring and inking, but generally the artist usually pencils in what kind of shading they want. The inkers just follow it. So I'm gonna give the credit of the shading to each individual artist, and I'm pretty sure they were the ones that did the shading. But yeah, that's just a quick comparison of how the different styles sort of work with each other.
Yeah.
But and now many may not know this, but Randy Elliott was the comic artist for Bionicle that lasted the longest. He lasted for 3 whole different years, which is longer than any of the others. Because Deonda only lasted 1. No, wait, no, he lasted 2. Sayger, Stuart Sayger lasted 2, and then the final comic authors lasted 1. Well, no. Gallagher lasted 1, and then Mhan lasted 2.
Technically.
Okay, 1.5.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Speaking of Stuart Sayger, we're going to move on to him next, because chronologically, he's next in line.
Didn't we interview Randy Elliott real quick?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. I mentioned that earlier.
Stuart
Yeah, okay.
Sayger. Wait, not Stuart Sayger. Lee Gallagher and
Leigh
Randy
Gallagher
Elliott.
and Randy Elliott. Yep.
Try
If you're
it.
interested in that, I'm sure we uploaded the video on the channel.
Both.
We have uploaded it, and it's somewhere around. We'll probably link it.
Yeah.
So, let's move on to what, this is personally my least favorite of the art styles that were brought to the table.
I agree.
This is Stuart Sayger, who did 2006 and 2007.
Oh yeah,
And
this guy.
I'm going to get examples from all sorts of places.
This guy.
Honestly, in my opinion, the reason I didn't like it so much was because it was extraordinarily abstract. It wasn't so much the darkness of it. It wasn't so much the detail or whatever. It was just, at some points, it was very abstract and kind of distracting to me.
Yeah, it was like the character designs were so thin, and they were. Yeah, it was really weird. I think it fit. It fit the Baraki and it fit the Paraka. I don't think it fit either the Ainika or the Mari. But
Yeah, I recall reading a Baraki comic, and it had this style, and I was looking, and I was like, well, this is strange.
Yeah, now, I'm the only one here who's talked to Stuart Sayger. I got the chance to talk to him. We're not going to go into how or why, but I got the chance to talk to him. Lego specifically asked for this style, which is exactly why he made this style. It was because Lego wanted it, because they were starting something completely different. 2006 was actually supposed to be its kind of sub-reboot of sorts, so they were trying something extremely different. I mean, it was a new island, completely diverting away from the whole Matt.
They just wanted to try something completely new. So they had Sayger do a completely different style that would probably set precedent for the next year, for the following years.
Yeah, so
Now,
that's why.
Yeah. Now, I think I'm one of the only people here, but honestly, I think Sayger's artwork is one of my favorites. And
get out. No,
the
get-
reason this is, the reason this is because I really, really think this style really fits the tone that that 06 and 07 had. And I kind of want to compare the style to, like, I guess music, sort of. It's like you got Deonda and Elliott, who are really, like, clean and detailed, and it kind of, like, kind of reminds me of, like, classical music, or just kind of classical music and just stuff like that. And Sayger's style kind of reminds me of, like, punk rock or something. There's something kind of breaking away from the norm, trying to be different.
It has a darker emotion.
Yeah, exactly. A darker emotion. It's got more. In fact, it just has emotion in it that I didn't really see in the other styles. While I love their streamlined, clean look, I can't really say Elliott's artwork has a lot of emotion in it.
This one's more gritty, more.
It's very. Elliott's style is very, very norm, and it follows the sets completely. It's really clean. This definitely took itself to a whole new level, and I think that really fits with 06 a lot, because that is also very different in a way, but also being the same. So
Sayger and Donda are really the only ones that ever did that to a huge degree.
Yeah. And I'm looking at this Anika teaser where it has Motoro, and I think it's Jollar in the background, someone else, and that just looks awesome. That's just this cool promo. I would see that and be like, what in the world is this? Is this some kind of new video game? What's coming out here? Like, this looks really cool, and I would really be interested in finding out what's going on by just seeing that picture alone. The Toa just look boss here.
Yeah.
Oh man, Bionicle Heroes, the game coming out.
There's just so much depth in the artwork. It may be abstract to a degree and, like, distracting at times, but I just think it really captures a feel that none of the others did.
Yeah, you got that right. I mean, can't take my eyes off Jowler in that one picture.
No, I know a lot of people will like see some of the styles and think, wow, this is just lazy. He didn't even go into any detail at all or anything. I don't know. I think it's not that he can't do it. It's just he chose not to. Well, he didn't choose not to, like I wanted it, but still.
Yeah.
I after talking to him, I have a lot stronger an appreciation for his art style. And I must say, this last picture I posted of 2006, I love the way he did Radiac.
Definitely.
Sorry, Radak. It's Radak. There are two characters that sound so similar. Radak, which is the Black Paraka, and Radiac, which is a Shadow Matron. I love the way he did Radak, because he's supposed to be real dumb, and he's like looking at Axon's like, huh?
But
It just looked really
but
funny.
I always
Paraka just
But-
amazing.
but I always pronounced it Radak.
I was pronounced it
I pronounced it Redak.
I pronounced it Radak.
Radak. Well, no, I pronounced it Radak. Okay, anyway. Anyway, yes. I do
Yep.
quite like that picture.
Well, we have more. He later on went to make the Toa Mari, and
That picture of Radak just coming out of the canister is just amazing. So that's what I mean.
I love
There's
that.
there's just a lot of depth and just emotion, and just, it captures just this epic scenery. And okay. Anyway, you can continue on.
yes.
And
But- This is where we're starting in kind of a backwards order, I guess, but we're gonna go to the Mari. I
I don't like them as much.
love the way he does villains. I think the Baraki and the Paraka he did very well. The Toa, not so much.
Yeah, that's my big issue, to be quite honest. It worked a little better for the Inika than it did the Mari. I don't think it worked for the Mari at all. Completely wrong.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Granted, the Mari in general, in my opinion, didn't work at all, but maybe that's just me.
There's my unpopular opinion. I like the Mari more than the Anika, so
Yeah, at least they had normal masks.
I like their masks more than
Oh yeah, the
than
masks,
the
masks were shway.
I think with the Mari, the coloring was better, but I don't think the actual artwork was better.
I think
Yeah.
it was just a little bit more, because this was his last year. I think it was just kind of, well,
There's just not. See, here it seems like there's just not detail just to not have detail, not to be artistic. I don't know. It doesn't capture the same feel that the others did, and I think it also adds to it the coloring too. There's just no real depth here. There's no background or any. It's just you have the Toa, and you have water, and I don't know. It's just really not as interesting.
doesn't really blend as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this one where the Paraka are fighting each other, and just the background and the scenery just makes the scene so much better. But here it's just water, and like I said, the coloring also has something to do with it, because I don't think the coloring is as dynamic as it was in the others. And actually, that's a great way to
Yep.
describe Sayger's artwork. Actually, it's just dynamic.
Yeah.
well, here's going to be a contrast shock for you. The Baraki. I really love the way he did the Baraki in these images.
For sure. The Baraki are really
Definitely
the highlight
Baraki.
of his artwork for me. I think if there was ever a fit for his artwork, it is the Baraki. Because they're already spindly. And I love their faces.
They really work with his style.
They just look fearsome.
But yeah, that is definitely something I can agree to. The Baraki definitely look great. It's just the Mari just don't work in my opinion. And when it comes down to it, most of it, the story is about the Mari and their adventures in Mari Nui. So
Yeah, and then there's
that's
that image there, which is later on down in the year. You can see a real stark contrast.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Kind
Wait, it's all load.
Yeah, continue, Var.
Just water, bubbles, and water, and tentacles.
Yep. But when there is a scene, like a background going on, it does look pretty good for the most part. That picture of the Mari looks great. One thing I do like about Sayger's artwork, and I'm pretty sure this is something to do with the colorist again, but also at the same time, I'm pretty sure he had a say in it, was the lighting in this is a lot cooler than anything we've gotten in the past years. Looking at a lot of Elliott's and Dionda's work, there isn't really much lighting going on. It's kind of just the drawings, and then the inking, and then the color. Here, we have some really dynamic lighting. We've got this lightning in the background shooting off its lights, and their eyes glowing through the darkness. We've got this sword causing this huge, like, nova blast of red and different colors and everything. There's just lens flares and explosions, and just this picture of Radak and Thok against Axon. There's just this huge light shining up from behind the axe. Really adds to the shadow and depth. Just lighting really, really made this artwork that much better. And just compare this to all of Elliott's stuff, and you will see what I mean.
Yeah.
There's no lighting. There's colors, but no lighting. That makes the difference. It's like Minecraft without the dynamic lighting.
Yeah.
Or like Tahi's animation currently.
So I had forgotten about his squids.
Oh God, I don't remember very good things about his squids.
I do not like his squids. They were probably easily
Squids.
one of my least favorite parts. I think that I would have liked seeing them more accurate to the set instead of what they were.
Oh god, his squids.
I love them.
I don't.
They look so friendly.
So,
My browser is getting cluttered with all these pictures.
well, you better scrap them all
Because
because we're gonna move on to our next comic artist.
I need to see the squid. Oh my God, that squid!
The squid, it's scary.
I do not like the squid, that's for sure. Anyway,
I'm gonna make that my Skype avatar.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Continue.
Of course you are.
Anyway, it is time we moved on to the next chronological artist. And this is the other comic artist we interviewed. This would be actually the first comic artist we interviewed, Leigh Gallagher. And he
Leigh
did
Gallagher.
2008 before ending things.
Lovely Gallagher style. quote.
I love this style so much. This, in
Oh,
my eyes,
yeah.
this is like the closest thing we could get to Elliott stuff, I guess, which I think is really cool because, you know, it's the return of the Nuva. But he adds a lot of his own kind of things to it. I mean, he makes the adaptive armor in the beginning look so nice and clean, which is so perfect because it was nice and clean in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think that he did a great job matching the characters up to the current situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the closest comparison to this artwork is Elliott's. The difference being he's got the set likeness of Elliott's, but he's got the detail of Dionda. He puts so much detail in these drawings, and yet they're so set-like. If you look at Elliott's style, while they're set-like, he usually doesn't draw many of the fine details. But this guy, he goes all out, and it's crazy. Very clean, very straight. I've never been able to, like, draw straight lines as good as he can, I'll tell you that. And yeah, he definitely captures just the clean, new, and cool look of the adaptive armor and how everything's so shiny. And this also helps in the fact that the colorist again, but
And those vehicles, man. Those vehicles.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the way he drew the vehicles is amazing.
I remember when we asked him about that, and he said the vehicles were just so difficult to draw because they're so intricate. But he did them so well.
and intricate is just the best way to describe this art. And I really respect the fact that he can capture a set-like look without having to retract from, like, the posability and the dynamic poses they can pull off. Everything still looks action-packed. Everything still looks lively. But at the same time, just like the set. I really respect that. He's got a masterful eye of, and just positioning like where the camera, like how the panel goes, is really great.
Yeah.
Now, recently he actually started auctioning off the original sketches and / inkings of some things. And I think we can agree that there are probably 2 pieces of artwork that really define his style. I think the one I just posted, which has Kirox, Tenma, and Liwa
Oh yeah, that.
in it.
Amazing.
But the other one, I think you guys are absolutely just.
Yep.
This is probably the pinnacle of his artwork.
I think I know what you're
Like I
talking
said,
about.
I think
Dynamic. Set-like, but dynamic. In the
This-
positioning of the panels and everything. Just
this has everything from every other artist I can imagine from Bionicle, and
thrown
just
right in here.
that.
Oh
does
my
it.
gosh, the way he did. Oh wow.
The scan lines, perfect. It's perfect.
Ah.
Go
Oh,
for
yeah.
the win.
That was it. That was the defining moment. I feel that was an amazing photo.
Krika
and
looks amazing.
He just did that absolutely amazingly. Now, as with all artists, I think near the end, things kind of started to waver a little bit. I noticed near the end he kind of adapted a little bit of like Stuart Sayger's style into things. They weren't as defined. They were getting a little bit more abstract in places.
Yeah.
I'll post
Kind of like with Pop
pictures
Mhan
describing that.
getting to. That happens to everyone.
Yeah, it really has happened to like all of them. I think the only one it did not really definitively happen to
Was done.
was.
Was done.
No, actually, I was gonna say Randy Elliott.
It didn't happen to Deonda? Wait, it did happen to Deonda?
No, it did not happen under Deonda. What happened with Deonda, his characters just got a little bit more stylized. They just became kind of a little bit blobbier and less defined. But with Randy Elliott, I mean, his style kind of stuck all the way through, I think.
Yeah.
But there's one picture. Oh yeah. But yeah, with this, I still really loved this art style the whole way through, and I think he is easily one of my favorite Bionicle comic artists.
Definitely.
Especially considering the fact he was the first to draw the Matt Nui robot.
Yeah.
Why did his Matsunui robot look intimidating?
Why
did his Matsunui robot look intimidating and huge and awesome?
Yep.
Yeah.
One small nitpick, probably the only nitpick I have. I don't like how he positioned Kopaka's wings.
No, they were always upward. Yeah. That's a little bit weird. I can understand it though.
I like it because it seems like there would be a reason to have it like that. It's like he's not always going to be in flight mode, stuff like that.
Normal people put their wings down.
Yeah.
But you can't. They put Kopaka's wings down. Okay, whatever. I like it.
Well,
I think it's fine.
I
It's
always
different.
put Kopaka's wings down.
You're a normal person.
But yeah,
Congrats.
there's some photos of his Matt Nui robot.
That robot.
Oh yeah, that robot.
That
Looks
robot.
like something straight out of Transformers.
It's quite goob.
So we should move on
Last
to
artist.
the final comic artist for the main line of Bionicle, Mhan.
Quite.
Now,
Excuse me? What was his name?
Mhan.
it.
I'm gonna have a lot of trouble reciting that guy's name.
It
Just Pop Man, only with an H.
Popmon.
Okay, continue.
It's like saying "coo whip."
So, Popmon did the last 2 years of Bionicle. And in the beginning, this guy was great. I really love this guy's artwork. Here's the preview sketch he gave everyone. And this gives you a really good idea of what it's like before the colors and the shadows and everything really comes into effect.
It's reminiscent of Gallagher's style to a degree. And yet it's still his style. It's different but similar, and it's kind of hard to describe what makes it
Reminds me a bit of Donda's.
Yeah.
Now,
I guess to a degree, yeah, I kind of like the Ondas.
Now, he did 2009, 2010. And 2009, in the beginning, this guy was great.
Yep.
He did the backgrounds really nice. I liked the characters. I think it was very kind of reminiscent of a lot of prior styles.
Yeah.
In some areas, I guess it looked a little bit awkward, but I really enjoyed it. I think for this year, it worked.
Definitely.
I think I'd describe it as Gallagher's style with a lot more shadow rather than sheen. So
Yeah.
less shiny, but darker and a lot more depth in it because of the shadows.
That word.
Yeah.
And he did action very well.
Ah, yes. Action.
Action. Listen, pal, you can't talk. You have Scary the Squid as your avatar. Be quiet!
Oh my god, he actually did it.
Yeah. But yeah, I quite loved Popmon's style. It's just sad that it took a very steep decline.
Yep, unfortunately,
detailed.
I would have to say, in the beginning, he was really, really good at pretty much everything that was in the comics. But I think very, very quickly kind of started
That
trying to
act
get it
art
out.
was amazing.
Trying to get it out quicker. Things started looking a lot more stickly and abstract, and it looked like I would assume Lego was really rushing him, and he did not have a choice.
Yeah.
I think he really just didn't have a lot of time in order to get this out, because we've heard from multiple artists, Lego has very strict deadlines.
I quite love that
So-
Scopio, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would not put this so much on him, just kind of getting bored. I would put this more on Lego rushing him.
Especially
I wouldn't
considering
say
what was
it
going
looks-
on in that year.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I wouldn't say it looks more abstract, really. It's just there's not as much detail as there was before. I mean, most of the proportions are still the same. Most of the dynamic posability is still the same, and most of the just the style in general is still there. It's just not as detailed. It's like he didn't take as much time into making it exactly the way he wanted it as he did before. But it doesn't look like it's detrimental to it or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely wasn't as good as when he started.
No.
In my
His lines aren't nearly as straight. I noticed that.
I'm having an issue getting a lot of examples here,
No big
at
deal.
least for 2009,
Need to wrap
like
up.
the stickliness.
Just get a couple. Oh, I can kind of see it. I don't know. I quite love that Vastus drawing, to be honest.
Well, that wasn't one of the stickliness. I was just posting it for posting its sake.
Show the stickliness. Dang
Trying.
it.
Or just move on to 2010. Big
Or
finale.
very
No, I
quickly.
want to see the stickliness.
I just want to post easily what I believe to be the defining moment of his art style.
Oh my gosh, that
Wow.
Tuma.
And then, okay, here, I think this is probably where it started. in decline. Probably when the Legends came in.
Yep. I noticed it in the Gelu versus Scrawl quite a lot.
Yeah, and I cannot find much more. The main, just for reference, so that everyone understands where it actually really shows up. It shows up probably comic 4 before the storm. Basically, the comic adaptation of the first, I'd say, quarter of the Legend Reborn.
Yeah.
So you'll find it there. It's not
pretty.
Yeah, and then in the 5th comic, Valley of Fear, that's when it really starts becoming apparent. So let's move on to 2010. Now this, the final year, this had a lot of ups and downs. That's pretty much all I can put out. I'll start with the majority of it. He had to draw the robots. And I very much appreciate his illustration of the prototype robot.
Yes. It's really shui. It's meant to look weaker, and it does convey that weaker appearance, but it also doesn't look...
It doesn't look too weak. It still looks formidable to a degree. Like it could still fight against the Mananui robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Reminds me
think
of the little robot from Real Steel.
the larger ones that he did really, really well. I think when it came to the ground, that's where the issues were. I'll just kind of post some things along the way.
Yeah. I guess the thing with the robots is that they've a lot closer to human proportions, so I imagine they're probably a lot easier to draw
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
without needing to go into so much detail, because there's not a lot of fine details within the robots.
Yeah. Let's see. Gotta get a picture of Tahu. This is where it becomes apparent when Tahu was transformed back into a Mata, pretty much.
I know what you're
I thought
talking
you were going to
about.
say a stub.
That's pretty much it. When he was transformed to a star.
Oh,
Oh. I mean,
what the heck happened here? That doesn't look like Sayger did it.
Okay,
And-
I have a couple things to say. First, those accurate but awful looking arms. And second, that it looks like the mask got folded in on one side.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like the hand's connecting to an arm. It
gets worse.
His right hand.
And then that left leg.
Also, this isn't part of his doing, but the coloring job on this is awful.
I don't know, I like the color.
I think
That's not as bad, Golden Tahoe. It still looks, but at least I don't know.
It doesn't. It still doesn't look as detailed, and it doesn't look as symmetrical either. I noticed like some parts are lopsided, or some parts don't actually. Because you know how there's supposed to be some symmetry with Bionicle sets. One side looks just like the other. It's supposed to be exactly the same. You notice here, but there are so many parts that actually don't. Like some are floppier looking, some are sagging a little compared to the other side. Like I know that Tahu, the golden Tahu picture at the very bottom there, the gold chest piece, like these two spikes coming down at the crotch area. Two different pieces.
I enjoy the Nectan battle to an extent. That was a well-drawn scene, except for some parts. But then the golden armor was just awful.
I don't want to talk about the golden armor. I still appreciate its being there.
I wasn't talking about its potential. Yeah, its
I
actual
wish
story.
the
realm.
stars never existed in the comics.
Yeah, well, some people wish you never existed.
I wish the
And-
stars were non.
These are very awkward sets to be able to build a decent or draw a decent posture for them. I think because the stars are
Why did they have
clearly-
to be canon?
clearly he's trying to go for a set-like appearance.
Rather than actually make
Well-
their arms bendable.
which is possible.
He could have, yes. I mean, I guess he should have done that. I don't know why he really didn't, but still, making these look decent is very awkward. Like, the knees on those stars aren't knees. I don't know how that could even be functional. they kind of just start curving. They don't look like knees at all.
TTV,
But yeah, I don't know.
TTV episode 63. Those knees aren't knees.
I mean, they're not. There's no way that could be used as a functional knee. It would just look weird trying to make that straight. Anyway.
Yeah, but in the beginning, I think Mhan was really good for 09. 2010, I guess.
I
it
blame
slowed
the stars
decline.
for being so bad.
Yeah, I kind of blame the sets more than anything, just for being
Yeah.
awkward in themselves. But
I appreciate how
I
he drew the Glatorian and the stars, yet did not make the size difference too noticeable.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think his quality necessarily went down to a substantial degree. So yeah, and even with that said, he's still a great artist. So yeah, there's
Yeah.
that.
But yeah. That pretty much wraps up all of the main artists. After the fact, there were a couple extra ones. And I guess it would be kind of worth talking about them, since they're really good. I mean, guess the first one, as soon as I can remember his name, I'm getting his name, but I'll just post this. This harkens back to 2007, and whoa,
Whoa.
yeah,
Who's that?
Christian Zanier.
Ah, yes,
Oh yeah,
him.
Zanier.
I love.
Christian Zanier is one of my favorite
Here's
illustrators.
what-
Whoa.
Wow.
Here's the thing.
What?
If I had
Well-
to pick a favorite, it would be Christian Zanier. Because he combines the attributes of all of the artists that I enjoy into one big package, and it's a shame
Yeah,
never
wow.
got to actually
That
Wow.
coloring.
much.
Well, the coloring isn't the
okay,
art,
this
really.
is crazy. Well, no, it sort of is because he defines like what the shading looks like.
Oh, okay, true. I guess for Christian Zanier, here is where he shines, and this picture, that
yeah.
says it all.
These are crazy. Okay, he's definitely a favorite of mine now. This is very good.
That
Just look at
Hydraxo.
that.
Dude,
Wow.
wow. Hydraxon.
Wow. Okay.
Now-
I was going on about those other guys putting a crap ton of detail. This guy is crazy.
Now, hang
It
on.
looks like a freaking picture of the set.
Dude,
Oh.
look, and he even made his own custom fishies.
Oh my god.
And then finally, this is what gets me. I feel like he looked back and went, and looked at the other artists, because the Anika was played out as being very different throughout a lot of illustrations, especially in Stuart Sayger's. It had a very rounded and kind of vague shape. He looked at that and shaped it like that.
Dude, where's this guy been all my life with Bionicle?
So he basically took Sayger's really distorted, contorted Anika and made it look amazing. Okay. Well, this guy is.
I like
Crazy.
that very intricate set-like fish that he made in the picture of Pradat getting hauled away.
Yeah.
Complete
Now-
with bald joint tail and anyway.
Wow.
And
Crazy.
it gets better.
And then there's more.
He came back. This was all for paper cuts. The guys who were publishing the what's it called? The
Graphic novels.
Graphic novels, yeah. He came back and he did 09 stuff as well, specifically about the scrawl.
Yay.
He
Oh.
gave form to Braynar, one of the few, the rarely named scrawl.
Y'all.
And he basically just made a scrawl with detailings on his eyes. But everything else, like
Okay.
that,
Yeah. I'm sorry, other artists. I think this is my favorite artist. This
Mine too.
looks great. I can't find anything wrong to say about it.
Yep.
Wow. Just impressive.
What a show.
I guess he wasn't a full Bionicle artist though, so he didn't have to work around the clock like the others did.
Nope.
Yeah, and then there's this. And then he also gave shape to the Patera.
That doesn't even. That looks like a photo.
Yeah, what in the world
Well,
is that?
Yeah, no, I know.
That's so Photoshop. What in the world?
That's a photo, but I'm talking about the characters.
Wait, is that an official picture?
Yes.
No, they didn't.
just.
That looks so bad. Oh my god, they just ruined his artwork with that bad background.
Well, look at that.
Okay, hold up. Let's see this.
I think that makes up for it.
Oh,
Guy.
what in the world's going on in that?
Wait, which one are you looking at?
The white one. Okay, let's see. Scroll Expedition. Let's see what this is.
Oh wow.
Whoa. Okay, yeah, it looks awesome, but it's
That
hard to make out. what's
that
happening.
background.
I can't. Yeah, that background totally like
Just
ruined
Photoshop
that.
red.
That looks god awful.
What are the Skrull doing in the Grand Canyon?
That looks so bad. It's like they didn't even make an effort to make it look like they actually belonged in that scene.
Well, okay. In that case, let's get on to the final comic the final artwork that he drew. That was called the Fall and Rise of the Skrull. This one,
Rising
this one is called The Exile's Tale, and it's about Malum.
Roll.
Now this
Malum.
is where he started taking on a style of his own, despite his very short-lived
Wow.
Whoa.
being,
Wait,
shown.
is this still, who is this? Is this still Christian Zanier?
Yeah. Well, I think this is like probably one of his most stylistic photos. This is one of the few instances the Zesk even appear.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna say this is definitely my favorite artist. Everything he does, I'm just loving. I
Oh
can't.
my gosh, the Zesk.
I can't even say why I prefer it. Others. It's just.
Okay.
The Boros.
Okay, I kind of want
just
to
looks
make
so
that Zesk face my avatar now.
Please do, please. The other one is gonna give me nightmares.
Well,
Or the Vorok's face.
yeah. This guy's great. I never even I never got these graphic novels.
Yeah, I never realized how good this was. I've never seen this before. This is the first time.
Yeah, where have they been all my life? Where has he been all my life?
Then.
Well, that's not all. We're still
It's not all.
getting other
Please
photos.
show me more.
You see, I still have to get photos. Okay, you're gonna
I
love
love
this.
how he did the Vorok's teeth. That's great.
You guys are gonna love this.
Oh, wow!
See this? Let me see this BS. What the heck?
That's when I Nika looking Tahu Nuva cross. Awesome sword.
That looks awesome.
That sword.
I really love that sword. That is cool.
Oh, more. He makes a lot of custom stuff.
He does, doesn't he? This is crazy. That sword looks freaking awesome.
That sword, okay, that's a Tahu Nuva sword on a Maranui hilt with like a Visorak foot on the end as like a hilt that's gold.
No, the Visorak foot's part of the claw.
Oh, I see what he did.
Trying to find. There's one picture where like Gresh is. He made a bunch of custom things. Like a ton of the stuff he made is custom. There was like a small snippet of like a custom Glatorian he had
What?
made, and
Okay, I am seriously loving everything this guy is doing.
I can't even find it. It's like been
Can we
purged.
interview this guy? I think we need to interview this guy.
Yeah,
Have fun finding him.
we'll do it.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Just
Wow. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Pretty much, it's just I can't even criticize it because I just like it so much. I guess it kind of goes on the trek of making, when he goes to his own style, making it a lot larger than the actual pieces are. But it's not a detriment or anything. It looks perfect.
Yep, and that's the final picture I'll be posting. Sorry, guys.
It's fine.
How dare you?
The final one, and I'm not gonna
Whoa.
post many pictures of this because it hurts me as much as I'm sure it's gonna hurt you. All Our Sins Remembered by Stuart Sayger. This was his take of 2009.
Look at Val.
And then his take of the Element Lords.
Oh,
Well, I'll just say that I'm glad Stuart Sayger didn't do this line. I love his artwork, but not for this series.
those Element Lords.
What the?
Okay, actually, I kind of like the Elephant Lords. If not just for they're so odd looking, but the fishbowl. I like it.
There's more. Okay, I'm gonna have to say this. I like I said, I have a better appreciation for pretty much anything Stuart Sayger has done.
Quick, I'll call Kai. Carry on.
No,
Do it.
this will last hours.
No,
if we
do it.
can invite Kahi.
Just
here.
do it.
I've already
Okay,
cleared them.
fine. But
We're almost done anyway.
your
Just-
funeral. So, this is probably gonna have to be my highest, my highest criticism of Sayger. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, I know where you're going with this.
I am so sorry. There's,
Uh,
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Now there is literally no redeeming factor for this one. I hate it.
there. I
I am sorry, Mr. Sager, but I really don't like this one.
Okay, I like the coloring, how it kind of looks like it's in construction. I like what he was going with. I don't like the thing for obvious reasons. This is so bad. We need to bring in someone else's opinion just to tear this to shreds. Kai, we've
Die.
summoned you to give some last brief impressions because this is running far too long on both
Hey.
Stuart Sayger's graphic novel work and Christian Zanier's graphic novel work.
Okay. Real quick, Sayger. I've been a fan of Sayger for a while, but was he just not sent any reference by Lego at all?
a fun
Or he
fact.
just like,
He actually told me a story about how he was like one of the first people to have Vizon and Fenrak, and it was like a small. He was in like a cafe dealing with that, and he like sneak previewed show to like a small child who's a fan of BIONICLE and said, "Shh."
Oh, that's cool.
Wow, that is cool.
And, like sneak preview. It's
That's
like
pretty
you can
cool.
see this before anyone else. Don't tell anyone though. And it's like he's a really cool guy. But anyway, go on.
yeah. Well, he seems like a cool guy. I'm not saying anything otherwise. I guess like it's understandable for him to make this mistake. I guess if they're like, oh, it's a giant Madanui robot, and he's like, I guess there's a giant Madanui set. I guess that's a robot, right? Right, guys?
Yeah, I
right?
think that's what happened. I think he just wasn't given the reference.
I don't think they gave him the thing.
I don't think
So-
he made this
Google-
decision consciously
Goo-
while no.
Google is your friend.
No,
And he's not invested in
not
it.
mine.
I mean, I can't be expected to expect him to go on Google and look up something he should have been given a reference to in the first place. In fact, for all we know, they probably gave him the Matanui set as a reference.
That is true.
Yeah. I
Paint it silver.
I mean, it's in construction. I can see why you do that. This is on Lego. If you commission the artist, you need to send them at least some reference imagery of what he's supposed to draw.
Yeah.
This is all on them.
Well, okay, Kai,
Uh,
what do you think
the-
about Zanier?
Zanier's one of my favorite artists that's ever worked on Bionicle. Especially that one scene with Strack and Malum, I believe.
Malum, yeah.
Malum, yeah. The dynamic use of foreshadowing and shadows and like the way it's drawn, set realistic but very in motion, almost anime like. I love that.
I can think of another picture of Strack and Bellum not made by Christian Bale.
Ah, that's what I was comparing it to. It's yeah. One thing I kind of have a problem with not Zanier, sorry, not Zanier, but Sayger. Sayger uses he's sort of not really stick figure, but like far away. Any character in general that's from Bionicle universe, they just look kind of wrong. I'm sure, like in the latest panel, you can see that. I think the Galu and Vines.
Yeah.
You see Ranu, and I just that's the one thing I really don't like about his style.
Our guide was slain.
we've,
Sorry to interrupt you.
we've still been playing Terraria this entire time. But yeah,
Is that a good
right.
thing? I don't think that's a good thing.
Welcome back.
I do want to say very quickly, Meso, make this the last image for like all the comics artists.
Okay.
Please. That'll end it all.
Also, real quick in Terraria, I just found a gold chest with 40 Jester's arrows.
What the heck?
Dun, 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 dun.
Dot.
No, that's Superman. I don't know where you're getting Indiana Jones from. That's Superman.
Yeah.
He's like going around the earth. Da 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 da.
Well, maybe
da.
to
etc.
Superman virtues.
Okay, so closing comments.
Closing comments. Zanier. Or sorry, not Zanier. I don't know why I keep saying Zanier. Zanier. I guess in rank of order, Zanier, the Anda, Elliott, Sayger, Galloway, Mhan, Gallagher, Mhan, and some other guy who I'm forgetting.
You've named
That's
them
all.
all, and you've
Have I
ranked
named them
Leigh
all?
Gallagher second to last.
But they're all very good. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. Like none of them are bad artists. They're all very good artists. I like them. All of them have different strengths and weaknesses. I like Sayger for 2005 and 2006.
Sayger didn't do
Not
2005.
I know. I mean, like in terms of style, like the years of style that like I would want to have Sayger for 2005 and 2006,
What?
not 2007.
That is true. Well,
No,
We'd
I
lose that on
disagree. I
Baraki.
think Sayger for 2005.
2005 was meant to be like a dark and brooding year.
Like,
I felt his style would have
Yeah,
fit a lot
but
better.
But it was still in the city of legends. I feel like, lol, I hit the guy. Anyway, what happened to Zach?
He died far.
Oh man,
here.
Zach like a maniac has met his demise.
Where did
Nah.
how did Zach die? Okay, anyway, I'm sorry, I'm
LJ
sorry.
was AFC and he let him get mobbed by a demon eye.
Oh, I guess like I still thought of 2005, and it's very dark, has a lot of shadows, a lot of giant spiders and webs, and everything's in
Yeah,
ruins.
but
and-
it's still the city of legends where just a year ago this whole location was really nice and clean and.
More like the city of ruins.
yeah,
And
like I,
while it may be in
I
ruins,
agree
don't
with
think-
Kai. I think Sager's style would have worked.
I just
2005.
I feel that contrast would have accentuated how different Metro Nui was from like the city of legends that was giant and shiny and metallic, and you had all this cool stuff going on, and then now it's just completely in ruins, and
suppose.
it's been taken over, and
Yeah, I
everything's
feel like
a lot
Sager
darker.
could have done a really nice dystopic look for it.
I think Elliott did a nice job of that personally, but
He didn't do a bad
prefer
job.
Elliott.
I think Sager would have been fit, but I would have rather had Elliott for
Okay.
2007.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Wow.
agree.
Does anyone else have anything important to say? No.
I
I
like
can't believe you guys did
Mangosteen.
this without me.
Your fault.
Zany- well, we kept telling you to get in the call, you idiot. Anyway,
I had to do stuff. I had to do stuff.
you didn't
honest,
tell us you had to do stuff. You just said BRB and left. Anyway, I think Zanier is definitely my favorite artist. I think Leigh Gallagher is actually my second favorite artist. I think Deonda is my third. let's see. Sayger's my 4th, and Elliott's my 5th. I like Elliott's, but I like the stylization of Sayger's quite a lot.
Mine, unfortunately, has to go in this order. Zanier, Gallagher, Elliott, Mhan, Sayger, and sadly Donda last. Because I'm an oddball.
Really?
Yes,
That's interesting.
I've got to be different. But yes.
Okay, I just want to say real quick, another interruption, that I found 2 more golden chests filled with junk, like arrows and potions and everything.
Wow. Loot it.
Okay, now go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much for listening to this. I may have to rebrand this as a TTV special. We'll see how this goes. Because this is too good of a discussion. But thank you all for listening, and be sure to rate, like, comment, subscribe, follow, favorite, share, participate,
Reddit.
tweet. Yeah, Reddit, Yahoo group it. Share.
Tweet your
Yahoo
twit.
group. Yes.
Fools.
I'm Messina.
Log on.
I'm Voteran.
I never got to state my favorite artist. I mean, I'm LJ.
Oh. Who is it? Not like I don't know.
Just go. Nope. We're ending this episode.
It's Dawn.
I'm Kahi.
It's pretty
I'm
obvious how my listing goes.
Ven, are you alive? Hurry.
Done.
Hurry, Venom. Hurry.
I'm Venom.
And thank you all for listening. I'm not going to say the episode number because I don't know if it's going to be an actual episode. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.